Hello, vinyl community. This is Randy, and this is an entry into a contest that's from Deep Track Zach, and it's called "These Are a Few of My Favorite Blues." I discovered his channel by watching a video by Elliot Cruz and his contest entry, and he's got a wonderful channel. I subscribe to it, and I encourage everyone else to subscribe to it. He also subscribed to my channel, which gave me 100 subscribers, woohoo, and then last night someone unsubscribed, so now I'm back to 99. But anyway, enough about me, and on with the contest. Oh, and he's also going to donate to your favorite charity for the winnings on this contest, which is very nice. So thought I'd just start up. Elliot Cruz had said that the entry drug for his love of the blues was the Allman Brothers. Mine was a little bit different. I think mine was probably the Rolling Stone Record Guide, and this is falling apart because I've gone through it so much. I think this is actually my second one. I think I had one that was red before this. But I wanted to start discovering new music, and so I started going and looking at the 5-star albums in here and going to find them and purchase them. And this was before the internet, and you either had to read about issues that were coming out, go to your record store, or maybe hear the artists on TV. So it was a lot more blind buying back in those days, and most of the time, if you bought a 5-star album in Rolling Stone, it was going to be pretty good. And one of the first ones I bought, and it's going to be my first selection of these favorite blues albums, is Two Steps from the Blues by Bobby Blue Bland. And Bobby Bland was a unique singer in that he brought gospel and R&B into the blues spectrum. And a lot of his early songs have a lot of, blues guitar and everything. But, I mean, he got more into R&B and soul as the years went on. And then in his later years, it really kind of came full circle and more back to the blues. But this is an unbelievable album. I don't have to get my glasses on to see. And I think St. James Infirmary, I think he does the best version ever on that. Two Steps from Blues is great. Lead Me On is a great ballad. I'll Take Care of You is another great ballad. I've Just Got to Forget You is another good ballad. But the whole thing, he's also been kind of called the Black Sinatra because of how smooth blues crooner he was. But one of my favorites, and this is one of my all-time favorite albums, is Two Steps from the Blues by Bobby Blue Bland. My next album I'm going to show was also an early 5-star album in Rolling Stone Record Guide that I grabbed, and that was the San Antonio Ballbuster by Clarence Gatemouth Brown. And he played guitar, he also played fiddle, he could play piano, mandolin, drums, harmonica. A very versatile artist. He was called Clarence Gatemouth Brown because someone said his voice was like a gate, so he called himself Gatemouth. But and then he didn't like to be pigeonholed into just being called a blues singer because he said he could play country, he could play R&B, he could play jazz, he could do everything. I also have an album he does an album with Roy Clark, which is really entertaining as well, the country guitarist. But most of this came out in '74 on Red Lightning. I guess I didn't show the other one either. Bobby Bland was on Peacock, or on Duke, I mean. Started with Peacock. But this is a reissue label, Red Lightning. And even though it came out in '74, most of these songs are from 1949 to 1959. And interesting thing on Clarence Gatemouth Brown was one of the things that got me to buy this album was the Rolling Stone Record Guide saying, what does it say? He was a huge star in Texas during the late 40s and 50s. His absolutely essential recordings for Peacock during that time are anthologized on San Antonio Ballbuster, a great album that is all the Gatemouth you'll ever need. Although I did buy more Gatemouth. It is an amazing album, and it's one of my favorite all-time albums by a blues artist, and that's my second pick. The next artist I'm going to show is Lowell Folsom. He's also been called Lowell Folsom. Don't know why the different spellings of his last name. But this is a compilation on the Chess label. He recorded a ton of singles for Checker, which was a subsidiary of Chess. And he was LA based, and he didn't go to Chicago to record, so he would send his recordings to Chicago. And there's quite a few of them that for some reason they didn't release, and some of them are included. I think there's 10 unreleased tracks on this compilation. But he toured with a lot of rock shows at that time. But he was very influential in the West Coast blues scene. And most of these recordings were from 55 to 1962. But Hung Down Head is maybe one of his most famous songs. He also does KC Bound. But he wrote a lot of his own material. And then also several of the songs on here are pretty rockin' songs, like Rock This Morning, and what was the other one I saw in here that's pretty good? Rock 'em Dead, which is a pretty good rockin' tune. So he kind of revved up the blues, you could say. He had a real stinging guitar sound and kind of a guttural voice, but real expressive. He and Bobby Bland probably are two of the most, not famous, but influential and kind of, putting R&B and gospel into the blues as well. But Lowell Folsom was my next pick. And my next blues artist is Big Mama Thornton. This is an album with the Muddy Waters Blues Band called Big Mama, the Queen of Monterey. This came out in 1967. Big Mama was kind of, what she's most known for, of course, is the song Hound Dog, which spent 7 weeks at number 1 on the R&B charts. And it was really her only hit. She never had another chart hit. Of course, that was such a huge hit for her, and Elvis did the song later and had an even bigger hit with it. But and she said of that song, she actually only made $500 or something like that. And she said she first heard the song on the radio, and then she realized she needed to incorporate it more into her show, so she bought the record at a record store and then had to go buy a record player to play the song to see how she did it, so she could do the song the same way in concert. But that was kind of an interesting thing. Big Mama Thornton said she took no guff. And on this album is with the Muddy Waters Blues Band. You got Otis Spawn on piano, James Cotton, the great harmonica player, Muddy Waters on guitar, Luther Johnson on bass, Francis Clay on drums. But really great artist. She had some other great songs, like I Smell a Rat, which isn't on here. She's got Black Rat on here, which is similar, but I Smell a Rat and Ball and Chain, which Janis Joplin later recorded. But one of the great influential singers who, I think when she died, she was like just in a boarding house somewhere, and unfortunately she didn't have a great end to her life. But Big Mama Thornton. My next album is by Sonny Boy Williamson, and it's entitled Down and Out Blues. This is the second Sonny Boy Williamson, actually. The first Sonny Boy Williamson died in like 1948. He was stabbed with an ice pick outside a Chicago club. After he passed away, this is Alec Rice Miller took up the moniker and started calling himself Sonny Boy Williamson. He's also often referred to as Sonny Boy Williamson II, but he became the better known and the more successful Sonny Boy. And this album, which is his first full-length album, which came out in 1959, this reissue on Chess came out in 1987, looks like. But like I said, originally 1959, this is on the Chess label. And he was a real influential harmonica player, but he could also play the guitar and drums. But helping him on these sessions are Jimmy Rogers on guitar, Muddy Waters on guitar as well, Otis Spawn on piano, Robert Lockwood Jr. on guitar, Willie Dixon on bass. So he had a lot of the great blues artists from the Chicago area playing on this one. He originally signed on Checker and then moved over to the main label, Chess. But wonderful album by Sonny Boy Williamson, and that's my fifth pick. And the last artist I'm going to show is the blues artist with probably the most haunting voice in blues, with that somber falsetto, and that's Skip James. He was a wonderful guitar player and played the piano as well. He plays 2 songs on the piano in this. He recorded a lot of songs in the 30s, and I'm not sure if any of them were released. They may have been, but then he kind of just got out of music, went back to work. But he was discovered again playing in the mid-'60s, and was signed to a record deal. And this album actually came out in 1965, Skip James Today. And he does some of his classic songs like Hard Time Killing Floor Blues, Drunken Spree, which he wrote about his days as an alcoholic, and really personal, because like the third song in here is Washington, D.C. Hospital Center Blues, about his time, being really sick in the hospital. And I guess for a while he didn't like playing that because it brought up bad memories. But also it's got a song on here, I'm So Glad, that Eric Clapton later covered with Cream. But I think he wrote all these songs on here except for How Long Blues, which is a Leroy Carr song. But wonderful issue on Vanguard, kind of known also for their folk issues. But wonderful blues singer, pretty influential. But like I said, there's no one that sounds like Skip James. And that's going to be my final entry into some of my favorite blues. Please check out Deep Track Zach's channel. And the charity of my choice would be Harvesters, which is a Midwest food network here around the Kansas City area. Thank you, and hope everyone's doing fine.